she published 3 research papers in different journals. In this joyful occasion, as an alumna of AAA College, it's my great honor and pleasure to introduce my family member, our resource person, Dr. B. Manjula ma'am, for today's session. Welcome, ma'am. Thank you for being with us. And thank you all very much. Over to Dr. B. Manjula ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for introducing me. I think the information are well developed, I think. Okay, good afternoon to one and all. First of all, I would like to thank Orchard Sri Mahalakshmi College Management, Principal, and Dr. G. Tenmari ma'am, Head of the Department of Chemistry, for giving me this opportunity to deliver a lecture on chemistry in 3 dimension. If students know the basic concept of stereochemistry, then they can easily learn about advanced stereochemistry. So I would like to give a basic concept of stereochemistry and basic terminology involved in stereochemistry. Okay, so let's go. Can you all visualize my screen? Anybody?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you see?
No,
Can you
ma'am.
see?
Ipo theriyala, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Sharing, ma'am.
Sharing? Screen?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. No, not screen, ma'am. Your face, ma'am.
Face, not my screen. PPT. Now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Stereochemistry refers to the 3-dimensional properties and reactions of molecules. It has its own language and terms that need to be learned in order to fully communicate and understand the concept. First, let's see about the isomerism. The compounds having same molecular formula but differ in their structural formula are known as isomers. Yes, ma'am?
No.
Okay, the phenomena is known as isomerism. You see, here in the example, dimethyl ether and ethanol have same molecular formula C2H6O, but they differ in their structure in turn. In turn, they differ in their physical and chemical properties. This isomerism broadly divided into two types, structural isomerism and stereoisomerism. Structural isomerism in turn divided into many types, functional isomerism, positional isomerism, chain isomerism, metamerism, etc. But we must focus on this stereoisomerism. Stereoisomerism are nothing but stereoisomers. They are also having same molecular formula, same structural formula also, but they differ in their arrangement of atom in space. They in turn divided into geometrical isomerism and optical isomerism. Geometrical isomerism, they are the stereoisomerism, differ in their orientation of atom. They are of two types, cis and trans. In cis, identical groups are on same side. In trans, identical groups are on opposite side. Okay. Then optical isomerism. Optical isomerism, think about the compounds having same arrangement of atom, but differ in their action on rotation of plane polarized light, are known as optical isomers. So the phenomena is known as optical isomerism. Actually, the ability of compound to rotate plane polarized light to right side or left side is known as optical activity. If the compound can rotate plane polarized light to right side, then it is denoted as dextrorotatory. If the compound can rotate plane polarized light to left, then it is known as levorotatory. What do you mean by plane polarized light? Usually light vibrate in all direction. After allowing this light to Nickel prism, the light vibrate in only one plane, that is the same plane. So this light is known as plane polarized light. Okay, this polarimeter is an instrument which is used to measure the optical activity. The light coming from the sodium lamp is allowed to pass through the nickel prism, then the light vibrate in the same plane. So this polarized light allowing to fall on sample cell, the light coming out from the detector may be rotate in clockwise direction or anti-clockwise direction. If it is rotate in clockwise direction, then it is represented by the term dextrorotatory. If it rotate in anti-clockwise direction, then the term levorotatory can be used to represent it. Okay, the specific rotation, it is very much dependent on the observed rotation, which in turn depends on the length of the cell concentration as well as strength of the optical activity. That is a temperature, wavelength of light has been used. Okay, so specific rotation is a is measuring optical activity of a substance. Why are some substances optically active and others are not? Can we predict which one will be and which one not? So Louis Pasteur in 1848 recrystallized sodium ammonium tartrate, which is optically inactive. He noticed that the crystal were of two types which we physically separated, and the two types of crystals were optically active, but rotated the plane polarized light in opposite directions. He proposed that the molecules came in two forms, left-handed and right-handed. So together the mixture of two forms is optically inactive. So all organic substance cannot be optically active. There must be some conditions which should be obeyed by organic substance. Generally, we can say that substance or substances are optically active one. So the conditions are, there should be a symmetric atom, mirror images should be non-superimposable, and there should not be any symmetry elements. Let's see one by one in detail. So asymmetric atom is nothing but four different groups attached to your atom. Four different groups attached to your atom is known as asymmetric atom. Okay, and the chiral center are given in the star form. See here in this example, you see here. So four different groups attached to your atom is known as chiral center. This how many chiral center present in a compound, that can be calculated by using the formula 2 power n. Okay, so here aldoxos, it has a 4 chiral carbon, chiral center or asymmetric atom, then it produces 16 stereoisomers. Same way we can calculate stereoisomers by using number of stereo chiral center or asymmetric atom. Okay. And here the chirality can be well explained by using hand. So our hand, that is right hand and left hand. So here right hand glove doesn't fit to the left hand. So this chiral is nothing but if its mirror image is different from the original object, they are non-superimposable. The mirror image. Okay, this is achiral. This is the difference between chiral and achiral. Okay, so the chiral mirror images that can be superimposed. They are known as achiral. See here the chart. Now the molecules are not chiral if they contain a plane of symmetry. The plane that cuts a molecule in half so that the one half is a mirror image of the other half. The molecules that possess mirror plane of symmetry are superimposable on mirror image. So they are termed as achiral. So asymmetric, that chiral carbon, otherwise asymmetric atom, both of them, the terms are same. So 4 different groups attached to an atom is known as asymmetric atom or chiral carbon, and their mirror images are non-superimposable. So the chiral center are shown in 3 dimensions. The next, the third condition, there should not be any symmetry elements. Actually, symmetry elements are a geometrical entity and involve some symmetry operations. There are 4 types of symmetry elements. They are center of symmetry, axis of symmetry, plane of symmetry, and improper axis of symmetry. This symmetry elements are known as geometrical entity and involves reflection, rotation, inversion. So it involves many operations to get that symmetry elements. So the third condition is there should not be any symmetry elements. To satisfy that condition or to know about this condition, we must know about the symmetry operation and symmetry elements. Yeah. First, we are seeing about the axis of symmetry. When an imaginary line passing through a substance and can be rotated about an angle of 360 by n, that is n is integers, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, more than 1, so that it can be produced same or similar appearance is known as axis of symmetry. It is denoted by the symbol Cn. See here BF3 molecule, and it can be rotated by an angle of 120 one time, so that the F is placed to the second place. The next third, again you're rotating the third time by 120 degree. So you'll get a similar or indistinguishable configuration, indistinguishable form of BF3. Okay, so now this BF3 said to possess C3 axis of symmetry. Okay, clear? See here, in this picture, the axis of symmetry in many ways can be passed through BF3, not only C3. There may be C2 axis of symmetry also, the principal axis. And next one, plane of symmetry. So when an imaginary plane can divide the substance into 2 equal halves so that one is exact mirror image of the other, is said to have plane of symmetry, and it is denoted by the symbol sigma. And here we can see 3 types of plane of symmetry: sigma V, sigma H, and sigma D. Sigma H is horizontal plane, sigma V is vertical plane, sigma D is dihedral plane. You see here, it's a horizontal plane. Okay. The next, this one is a vertical planes, and the next one dihedral. You can see the dihedral plane also. So for a water molecule, the plane is inserted in this way: C2V, two vertical planes. And XeF4 is also having the principal axis along with the plane, horizontal plane H. Okay. Next, center of symmetry. So it is a point through which a line is drawn so that it touches identical atoms or groups at equal distance in both directions. So this is known as center of symmetry. It is a point through which a line is drawn so that it touches the identical atoms at equal distance in both directions. So this is known as center of symmetry. It is denoted by the symbol I. Okay. So let's see this examples. Carbon dioxide, benzene, and SF6. See here, you just put a point center of this carbon atom. You just extend the line and you can touch it. equal distance in both direction. At equal distance in both direction, then these compounds said to possess I, that is center of symmetry. And this operation is nothing but inversion. Here you see here N2, F2 or SiH4 or H2S. So there is no I, right? This can be well explained by taking this example BF3. For simplicity, BF3 represented by triangle. Triangle have equal sides. That is why I have given you a arrow mark. Actually, the first arrow mark is a upside. It is misplaced. So you just think here this improper axis of symmetry involved in two operations. Improper axis of symmetry involve two operations, that is rotation followed by reflection. So here in this BF3, the arrow mark, you just think that the arrow mark is facing upside. Okay, see it is rotated and coming to the second place and followed by reflection, so the arrow mark is getting down. The same way you can do the same, that is two operations simultaneously. So you'll get a indistinguishable isomer, that is indistinguishable form. That is a starting and end form are same. So here this improper axis of symmetry represented by the symbol SN. So after doing operations 6 times, then you will get an indistinguishable form. Then the improper axis of symmetry for BF3 is S6. So in short, we can write like this. That is a plane of symmetry, axis of symmetry, center of symmetry, improper axis of symmetry, or 4 types of symmetry elements, corresponding operation and symbol are given here. Okay, so conditions of optical activity. All organic substances cannot be optically active one. You should satisfy 3 conditions. There should be asymmetric atom, and the mirror images should be non-impossible, and there should not be any symmetry elements. Okay, this is stereoisomers. In stereochemically represented in 2 ways, that is enantiomers and diastereomers. Enantiomers are that is they are non-superimposable mirror images, but differ in their only one property, that is rotation of plane polarized light. Diastereomers, they are stereoisomers. They are not mirror images, different compound with different physical properties. Let's see in detail. Okay, the enantiomers are non-superimposable mirror image isomers. Okay, and you see the examples. They are chiral in one, and the enantiomers are pairs, L-alanine, D-alanine, L-glucose and D-glucose. They are non-superimposable mirror image isomers. And their properties, characteristic properties of enantiomers are, they have identical physical properties like boiling point, melting point, density, solubility, refractive index. So everything, they have identical physical properties, but they differ in their direction of rotation of plane polarized light. Say for example, see D lactic acid and L lactic acid. They have specific rotation also same, 2.24 degree and here 2.24 degree, but the rotation, direction of rotation. If the plus lactic acid rotate the plane polarized light right side, then minus lactic acid rotate the plane polarized light to left side. So the enantiomers are differ only in the property of rotation of plane polarized light. Otherwise, they will have identical physical properties. Okay, and but they have different biological property. Say for example, D-dextrose, that is D-glucose, that is only plays an important role in animal metabolism, but L-dextrose is not metabolized in our body. Okay, so when equal quantity of this enantiomers are mixed, an optically inactive compound, that is racemic mixture, is formed. Okay, the next is diastereomers. Stereoisomers substance that are not mirror images of each other are termed as diastereomers. So these are the example, and they have different physical properties like melting point, boiling point, solubility, density, and refractive index. And diastereomers have different specific rotation, but they may have same or opposite sign of rotation. And these properties that they have different physical properties so that they can easily separate it. But enantiomers only differ in their rotation of plane polarized light, so they are difficult to separate. So convert enantiomers into diastereomers, then it can be easily separated. See here are examples for enantiomers as well as diastereomers. Here the enantiomers, see here, entirely different notation. The first compound 2s 3r, second compound have the notation 2r 3s. Here same way the second example, see second example, 2s 3s first compound, the second compound its mirror image. So we'll have a reverse configuration, that is 2r and 3r. Okay, but you see the diastereomers. So by using this pointer, you can differentiate enantiomers and diastereomers. In diastereomers, they'll differ only one of the configuration. That is, they can be differ in a, if we have two asymmetric atom, one asymmetric atom tilted in some way 180 degree. So you'll get that configuration. That is a 2s 3r. So its diastereomer pair is 2s 3s. Only in third carbon there is a different configuration. Okay. By using this point also, you can differentiate diastereomers and enantiomer. The next term, different terminal, that is asymmetric and disymmetric. So asymmetric, that you know very well, 4 different groups attached to an atom is known as asymmetric, and it's optically active one, and there should not be any symmetry element. The disymmetry, this is also optically active one, but non-superimposable, but said to possess C2 axis of symmetry, or any one of the symmetry element is known as disymmetric. See here, example. So in short, we can easily differentiate the symmetry molecules will have symmetry elements. Asymmetric molecules do not possess any symmetry elements, and disymmetric may possess any one of the symmetry element. Any one of the symmetry element, that is especially axis of symmetry. The next terminology, topicity. This is stereochemical relationship between, it gives a stereochemical relationship between the substrates and the structure to which they are attached. So depending upon the relationship, such groups can be heterotopic, homotopic, enantiotopic, and diastereotopic. So heterotopic they are different, and the substrate are structurally different. Okay, so homotopic groups are in a chemical compound are equivalent groups. Two groups A and B are homotopic if the molecule remains the same when the groups are interchanged with some other atom, while the remaining parts of the molecule stay fixed. Homotopic atoms are always identical in any environment. Say for example, you see in methane, the 4 of the hydrogens are homotopic. In dichloromethane, the 2 of fluorines that are 2 of hydrogens are known as homotopic. See here, dibromomethane, that is dibromomethane. Dibromomethane, this HA and HB are known as a homotopic. So it gives either of H replaced by some other atom. So you'll get identical product. So these hydrogens or these groups are known as homotopic. This is a diastereotopic. Actually, this term diastereotopic refers to the relationship between two groups in a molecule which, if replaced, it could generate compounds that are diastereomers. Diastereotopic groups are often, but not always, identical groups attached to the same atom in a molecule containing at least one chiral center. For example, 2 hydrogen atom of the CH2 moiety in S2 bromobutane or diastereotopic. Replacement of one of the hydrogen with a bromine atom will produce 2s3 or 2,3-dibromobutane. Replacement of other hydrogen with bromine atom will produce the diastereomer 2s3s 2,3-dibromobutane. Different diastereomers will produce diastereomers. See here, there's a colored red color and blue color hydrogens are known as diastereotopic groups. Okay, diastereotopic hydrogen. And if red one replaced, you'll get 2s3r. If blue hydrogen may replaced, then you'll get a 2s3s. So it gives, in the reaction, it gives diastereomers. So they are known as diastereotopic groups. Next, enantiotopic. So here also the same way. If one or other were replaced, it may generate chiral compound, that is enantiomers. If say, for example, 2 hydrogen atom attached to the second carbon in butane or enantiotopic, replacement of one hydrogen will give R2-bromobutane. Replacement of other hydrogen will give S2-bromobutane. See here, the butane, this red color and blue color hydrogens are known as enantiotopic hydrogens. Okay, so if replacement, so this red will replace blue replaced, you'll get a R. If red replaced, you'll get a S. Okay, the next term, how to represent 3-dimensional molecule in 2-dimensional paper or board. Representation. Okay, representation of 3-dimensional molecule. There are 4 methods: wedge formula, Fisher projection, Sahar's projection, and Newman projection. Okay, in a wedge formula, very simple. In this method, representation of this 3-dimensional molecules done by using broken wedges and solid wedges. Solid wedge is used to denote chemical bond towards the weaver, and broken wedge is used to represent bond away from the weaver. The solid line is used to represent the bond in plane. Okay, solid line represent the bond in plane. So some other example are given here. Next, Fisher projection. So in this method, the horizontal bonds project toward the weaver, towards the weaver, and the vertical bonds, that is projector, away from the weaver. So furthermore, vertical bonds are actually behind the plane of the paper, behind the plane of the paper. This is important. Horizontal line represent the bond above the plane, and vertical line below the plane, or beyond, away from the weaver. And this Sahar's representation, something better. Here there are 2 types of Sahar's representation. That is a eclipsed one and a staggered. You see here, eclipsed form, less stable form, a staggered one, more stable one. Okay, that is a Y form. Inverted Y or Y form. Here the both carbon represented inverted Y or Y form, then it is a known as a eclipsed form of Sahar's representation. If alternate way, one carbon Y form, another one inverted Y, this way alternate, if you represent it, then it is known as staggered form of Sahar's representation. Then Newman projection. Newman projections are very simple. It may be convert from Sahar's to Newman, also the simple method. That is, front carbon represented in dot and a back carbon represented by circle. Just conversion, you see here, a wedge formula to Fisher. How to convert wedge formula to Fisher? See here, the wedge formula. In wedge formula, straight line and a broken solid wedges are given, right? Always the straight line, the groups in straight line, you just place in vertical part of the Fisher projection. Always, you just remind this point in your mind. That is the groups on straight line are represented nothing but in plane. The groups in plane, same plane. So you just use this. The groups in straight line in the wedge formula can be represented in vertical line, vertical plane. Okay. and you focus on the broken wedge. Broken wedge, you just keep the groove where it is left or right. Here the hydrogen group represented by broken wedge, it should be come on the right side only. It is, if it is right side, then it should be come on the right side. If it is left side, then it should be come on left side. Then you write the groove which is represented by solid wedge, opposite to the groove represented by broken wedge. Okay, ma? The same way you can represent the compound may contain more than 2 asymmetric atom. Okay, so simple or clue, you just remember, always take the grooves in plane to represent vertical line in Fisher projection, and the groove represented by wedge formula can be represented as such in that side. If it is right side, you just put right side in horizontal part of the projection. If it is left side, then you just put left side the part of the projection, Fisher projection. Okay, then the group represented by solid wedge should come to opposite side of the group represented by broken wedge. Okay, same way Fisher to Sahars. So here there may be 2 types of representation, that is eclipsed form and staggered form. So you just see Fisher in Fisher projection, back carbon may be the top, and front carbon will be the down. Front carbon will be the down, and the top V will be the back carbon. So back carbon, you just you give as such. The group may be represented, it may be inverted a Y form or Y form. In eclipsed form, you just take the place of the groups as such. But to represent staggered Sahars, you just tilt the front carbon, that is the bottom carbon, to 180. Only tilt the bottom carbon, nothing but front carbon, to 180. Then you can represent staggered form. Okay. The same way, Newman projection. Front carbon, dot line, dot. Then back carbon should be represented as circle. It just convert from Fisher to Sahars, Newman projection in eclipsed form. In eclipsed form, you just take the same place. To represent Newman, staggered Newman, you just tilt it, the front carbon or bottom carbon in Fisher to 180. Then you represent in the staggered Newman projection. Okay, is it clear? Next, let's say the configurations. That is arrangement of atom that characterize particular stereoisomer is called its configuration. The following methods are used to assign the configuration. That is a absolute configuration and a relative configuration. Absolute configuration, nothing but R and S. A relative configuration, DL system. Okay, the first system was developed by Fisher and Rosenoff around 1900. And Fisher first developed a method for drawing carbohydrates in 2 dimensions and a convention with respect to orientation so as to indicate their 3-dimensional structure, so-called Fisher projections. Fisher and Rosenoff then devised a notation for designating the configuration of stereogenic centers depicted in Fisher projection as either D or L. Here, you just remember a point, important point, D and L, capital D and L, it is not related with the sign of rotation. It is a designation. Capital D or capital L are represent the designation of the compound. That is notation, N, notation of the compound, not rotation of the light. Actually, plus or minus small d and L are represent the direction of rotation of plane polarized light. It is if it is rotate the light to left side, it is L, small L or minus. If it is rotate the light, plane polarized light to right side, then it is represented by a small d or plus. So capital D and L are nothing but it is designation, notation. Okay, so see here the glyceraldehyde is given here. OH is a OH group is on left side, then it is denoted by the symbol L. If it is on right side in the glyceraldehyde, it is denoted by the symbol D in Fisher projection. Okay, clear? So OH, that is DL system, DL notation, very simple. You just look at the compound in Fisher projection. If OH is on right side, then it is denoted by the symbol D. If OH is on left side, then the symbol is L. Okay. Suppose the compound contains several asymmetric atoms. What will you do? You just see here, look the asymmetric atom, that is a second asymmetric atom from the bottom. Here, second carbon from the bottom. Okay, so that we can represent D glucose, D mannose, here L, because OH is on left side, L glyceraldehyde, L glucose, L mannose. Okay, clear? If compound contains several asymmetric atoms, then you look at the carbon, second carbon from the bottom. Next time, actually this DL system has its own drawback because it is applicable only to carbohydrates and amino acids. It will not applicable to the compounds containing other than OH group or NH2 group. So we prefer to next is configuration, RS configuration. It has been proposed RS, Kahn, CR Ingold and V Prelog. So the system is also known as Kahn Ingold Prelog system. Okay, and in the system, some steps to follow to notate the compounds. First, you write the Fisher projection of the molecule. Give priorities according to the sequence rule. If the priorities travel in a clockwise or right-hand direction, the configuration is designated as R. That is in Latin, rectus means right side. If the priorities travels in an anti-clockwise or left direction, the configuration is designated as L in Latin. Sinister means left. And here the second step is give priorities according to sequence rule, I said, right? What are all sequence rule? The atoms or groups directly bonded to asymmetric carbon are arranged in order of atomic number and assigned priority 1, 2, 3, 4 accordingly. When two or more groups have identical first atom attached to asymmetric carbon, then the priority order is determined by considering atomic numbers of second atom. If second atom are also identical, then third atoms along chain are examined. See here, methyl, ethyl, propyl. The order may be the propyl should be given first priority, then second priority to ethyl and third priority to methyl. If the first atom of groups have same substituents of higher atomic number, then with more substituents take the priority. Say for example, here the CH3 has a higher priority than CH3Cl. The same way, if double E, triple E atom present in the group considered to equivalent to 2 or 3 singly bonded atoms respectively. See, double bond A equal to double A, triple bond A equal to triple A, the benzene. So if isotopes present, priority must be given to mass, that is highest mass. Here, isotope, just consider the isotope of hydrogen. Here, tritium must given first priority, then second priority to deuterium, third priority to protein. See here, some groups are given here and priorities are given. Bromine should given first priority, then second Cl, third fluorine, and fourth one hydrogen. The same way here, oxygen highest with highest atomic number, so should be given first priority. Carbon Br, it is attached to the second atom. You should see the second atom. So Br, so that should be given second priority, then third and fourth. So here the double bond is here. So first priority to highest atomic number, and second to double bonded, because it is a carbon doubly bonded. That is why second priority and a third, fourth one. Here, assign the priorities. So I said to give RS designation, you must first write the Fisher projection. That's most important. So here I have changed this wedge formula to Fisher formula. Then you give priority. Okay. Make two interchanges so that lowest priority should be at bottom. Make the lowest priority here 4 should be at bottom. Then make two interchanges. Always make two interchanges. If you forgot to make the second interchange, you will get configuration of mirror image, not a exact configuration. Okay. Since the priority travel in anti-clockwise direction, by the symbol S.
வாய்ஸ் சரியா கேட்கல மேம்.
Some interpretation is there here. Someone on the mic. Some of you on the mic. Ma'am, anybody here?
Komati Selvam.
Yes, ma'am. Anybody unmute? Anyone? I think someone unmute the mic, and some disturbance, some noise is coming, ma'am. Okay. If the compound contain more than one asymmetric atom, first you just divide the substance into two ways. You first number the compound from top. That is CH3 is first carbon, CHCl second carbon, again CHCl third, fourth. This is C2H5. This is fourth carbon. So you just number the atom and find which atoms are asymmetric one. And then you give the priority, assign the priorities, and then see clockwise or anti-clockwise. Okay, so I have given some more compounds. At least you give me the answer for first one. Anyone of it try? First you number the atom and separate the compound into two asymmetric atom. I also given you the here there are two asymmetric atom, second and third carbon. Anyone of you trying? Okay, check it. Anyone of you try? Okay, ma. Here first we have seen one asymmetric compound contains one asymmetric atom. The next one contains two asymmetric atom, and more than one asymmetric atom also we have to follow the same procedure. The next biphenyls, allenes, For this, you take the biphenyls like this and give the priority. It should be mentioned in tetrahedral structure. It should be mentioned in tetrahedral structure. Then you tilt it little bit, tilt 180 degree, just rotate it to 180 degree. So you'll get a same we have seen before. So make two interchanges so that lowest priority should be at bottom. Then the priorities travel along R clockwise direction, then it is R. If it is travel along anti-clockwise direction, then it is denoted by the symbol S. Okay. Any doubt regarding this?
Ma'am,
Yes, tell me. Okay. I can draw and tell you. If given like this, biphenyls, NO2, okay. So this ring is almost narrow compared to this ring, right? This ring is almost narrow compared to this ring. This is away from you. Always this is away from you, or otherwise they'll give like this broken wedge and a solid wedge, the groups attached by using broken wedge, solid wedge. So this symbol is represent nothing but this part is away from you. So always bring like this, bring down. You write like this, always bring down. Which part? The group away from you. The group away from you should be down. Okay. Then you represent in tetrahedral structure like this. Here you see the priorities. CL is for highest priority and this one. You either letters or numbers can be used. And here this is 1 and this is 2. Okay, right? Again, you change here the 3 and this one with the 4. And tilt it. I said just rotate it 180. Tilt it. So you'll get to the original part. 4, 2, 1, and 3. Right? Now you
Ma'am.
got the previous way. The lowest priority should be at bottom. So make two interchange and designate. You tell me the notation of this. R or S from this. Any one.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. That is take 4 and 3, 1, 2. So you have to do another interchange. Then only you will get the exact configuration. So 2, 1 and 2. Okay, S. S is right. Okay, is it clear? The same way
Yes,
you
ma'am.
do with allenes or spirines, etc. Okay. Okay. The next The last one, EZ nomenclature. It is applicable to double bonded compounds. If compounds contains more than one double bond, then EZ nomenclature can be used to notate. And when the cis trans fails to give an ambiguous name, then is EZ system is used. Okay, consider each of carbon double bond separately and assign con in gold prelog priorities to two groups attached to each other, each carbon. And if two groups of high priority are on same side, if the compound is at, if two higher priorities are on opposite side, then it is denoted by the symbol E. So simple. And see here example, focus on the carbon attached to double bond, but compare the priorities two carbons. Highest priority on same side, then the symbol is Z used. Then highest priority are on opposite side, the symbol E has been used. So the compounds are given. All of you understand? All of you understand this?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now you tell me, assign the following as E or Z.
First one E.
Yes, second.
E.
Second also E. Yes. Third.
Is it? Third one is it, ma'am?
No E.
E, ma'am, E.
Yes, E or Z.
E, ma'am.
Third
E.
one E.
E. Yes. Fourth one.
E.
E. Yes. All compounds are E only. E only. Very good. The next, if more than one double bond present, you just designate like this. You number the first, like RS notation. You number the compound first and then give the priorities and see highest priorities are on same side or opposite side. So you must give one compound and a third carbon, 1 and 3rd. So 1 is at 3E. Okay. Thank you one and all. If you have any doubt, you can ask me.
Thank you.
Any doubt regarding this?
Thank you,
Okay.
ma'am. Girls, if you have any doubt, please ask.
Ma'am, excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, can you explain once more R and S notations, ma'am?
RS notation.
Yes,
Again.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. For me.
First, you look at the compound, ma. Convert the compound into Fischer form. whatever may be. If it is a fish, if it is a wedge formula or Sahars, so whatever may be, Newman projection, whatever may be, you convert that form into Fisher form. First, you have to do that one. Do the Fisher form. The next step, assign the priority according to sequence rule. First step, you write down the Fisher projection. Suppose if it is Fisher, you leave it. The next step, you give the priorities according to sequence rule. Ma. Give the priorities according to sequence rule. Then the priorities should be arranged. Priorities should be arranged so that the lowest priority should be at bottom. The lowest priority should be at a bottom. Then you see the priorities arranging clockwise or anti-clockwise direction. See here, there's a compound as a given in wedge formula. So you first write down in Fisher projection and give the priority according to sequence rule. Here nitrogen has a highest atomic number and than carbon and hydrogen, but fluorine has the highest atomic number among them. So fluorine should be given first priority, then nitrogen given the second priority, third carbon, and fourth hydrogen. Okay, so you give the priority as such to the Fisher projection. Okay, Fisher projection, the compound in Fisher projection. Then you make two interchanges so that lowest priority should be at bottom. You should not interchange the lowest priority. Okay, lowest priority should be at bottom. You always keep it in your mind. Lowest priority should be at bottom. Always lowest priority should be at bottom. So 4 and 1 getting interchanged in first step. The second interchange, this 3 and 2 interchanged. So now you see the next last step, you see that priorities travel along x direction, clockwise direction or anti-clockwise direction. If it is a travel anti-clockwise direction, then yes. If it travel clockwise direction, then or. Okay, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
Ma'am,
Tell me, ma'am.
DL rotation வந்து OH group இல்லைன்னா என்ன மேம் பண்ணுவாங்க?
So it is that only I told you, it is the drawback of that DL notation. That is the drawback of DL notation. That is, it is applicable only to carbohydrate, to designate carbohydrate and amino acid. That is why we prefer to RS notation.
So while we writing naming, we neglect D and L rotation for that, ma'am.
DL, we cannot give D or L to other functional groups. The compound contain other functional group.
Okay, ma'am.
We prefer to RS notation.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am,
Tell ma'am.
ma'am, how to convert Fisher into Sahas? Could you please again say, ma'am?
Okay. Fisher into Sahars. As such, you write, ma. See here, this is the Fisher form. Fisher form, top is the back carbon, ma. Bottom is the front carbon. You always remember, in Fisher, top is the back carbon and bottom carbon is the front carbon, front group. Okay. So here, this Fisher to Sahars can be represented in two ways. eclipsed and staggered. So if you want to write eclipsed, you can write as such, because you may write eclipsed form by using inverted Y or Y form. Both carbon can be represented by inverted Y or Y form, so that you can use the group same way. Here see the back carbon H and Cl OH, and here OH H CH3. But if you want to write staggered Sahas, you tilt the bottom carbon, that is front carbon, to 180. Tilt the front carbon only, not back carbon. You just write the back carbon as such, that is HClOH. But front carbon should be rotated, that is bottom carbon. So H here and OH here, it is rotated, and there's a CH3 is going upper side, right? Can you see that?
Yes, ma'am.
Now you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am,
Mm.
chiral and echiral கொஞ்சம் difference மட்டும் explain பண்ணுங்க ma'am.
Chiral, achiral, nothing but chiral are contains four different groups. Yeah, atom attached to four different groups are known as chiral, and they are mirror image with each other, like this. They are mirror image with each other, but that mirror image is non-superimposable. You see the hand, two hand. So right hand glove doesn't even fit into the left hand, but looking mirror image with each other, right? Looking same. Exact. One hand is exact mirror image of the other, right? One hand is exact mirror image of the other, but right hand glove will not fit into the left hand. That they are not superimposable. That is chiral. Okay, so four different groups attached to an atom is known as asymmetric atom. So chirality means nothing but four different groups attached to an atom, and mirror images are non-superimposable. This is chiral. You see the achiral. So they are showing the mirror images, but they are superimposed. Okay, this is achiral, because they contain plane of symmetry. That is why achiral. Chirality means there should not be any symmetry elements. But chiral means here the chair form contains plane of symmetry. That is why it is achiral. Okay, ma?
Okay, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Now I call upon Dr. P. Tamai Selvi, Assistant Professor, Department of Chemistry, Arcot Sri Mahalakshmi College, to propose the vote of thanks.
Thank you, ma'am. Good afternoon to all. I seem it great honor and privilege to propose the vote of thanks on this memorable occasion. Let me first at all start giving glory to admire the God for making today occasion the resounding success. First and foremost, I thank our special guest, Dr. B. Panjula, Assistant Professor, Department of Chemistry, AAA College, Walajapet. The lecture which was given our chief guest was sharing to the brief introduction of stereochemistry and basic knowledge. And the inspiring one word are not sufficient to thank her for a beneficial causes. The interaction with the student was really outstanding. I extend my sincere thanks to the chairman sir, secretary sir, principal ma'am and vice principal ma'am for the valuable contribution. My heartfelt thanks to the department HOD and faculty member of our chemistry department. Last but not least, I thank our student for your cooperation making this friction-free surrounding success. Once again, thank you all for your attention. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, one and all, students and management and HOD ma'am, to everyone. Everyone, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Ma'am, shall I leave?
Yes, ma'am, you can, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.